We have Jignesh Shial, Director, Research and Head of BFSI at Incred Capital to talk to us about everything that's happening in MFI as well as MSME, whether there is asset quality concern, how long should those concerns linger for, what are the players within that sector which look interesting. So, Jignesh, first off, good morning. Want to quickly ask you, uh, first, is this concern something which is temporary, short term, or do you expect this to linger for a longer period of time?
Yeah, good morning, Harsh, and thanks for inviting me. Yeah, obviously there had been a pain which is visible, specifically on the MFI space since last 2 quarters technically, and we think that this might stay at least for a couple of quarters. At least I think by 4Q of FY25 is something is the pain might stay elevated, or at least we should be able to see that overall bounces remaining a little higher than what we had seen in the last 2 years or 2 or 3 years. Post which, then again we need to analyze whether things are stable. I mean, settling down or not, and becoming stable. But at least for next 2 or 3 quarters, we see the pain might stay.
Okay. And do you believe this is due to the faster growth clocked by the sector in the last couple of years? What's leading to these issues? Maybe the top two or three reasons. There may be several, but maybe the top two or three would stand out for you.
No, absolutely. I mean, at April 22, if you remember, the RBI has basically relaxed the norms for MFIs, whereby they had given relaxation on interest that they can charge. Also, they can become a third or fourth borrower, a third or fourth lender to the same borrower, and family income has been extended and all. So obviously, that was a big opportunity that has happened for most of the MFI, NBFC-MFIs and all, were struggling to compete with small finance banks and even banks and all in general, because they didn't have that kind of restrictions. The moment this restriction got lifted, obviously there was overheating which was supposed to happen. It took almost 2 years for them to continue growing at that particular pace, and that basically overheating or the over leveraging is now getting reflected in the form of slippages and all. Along with it, a slowdown or a kind of a relatively kind of weaker momentum or cyclicality, which is generally visible in rural areas. That is also one of the reason why we are seeing a pain which is visible in MFI space. But particularly, the key reason what we believe is the overheating that has happened post RBI regulation softened up for NBFC MFIs.
So, Jignesh, both demand as well as supply driven.
Yeah, basically it's a combination of both. Even lenders became too aggressive to lend, and that basically has caused them a bit of a problem. Also, this book generally remains so geographical concentrated. You generally have one or two or three states which basically occupies almost like 40-50% of your book. So any particular state sees some kind of pain, your overall entire portfolio starts seeing kind of issues overall altogether. So I think it's a combination of both. There had been an aggressive demand from the borrowers as well as the suppliers also. I mean, basically lenders also to grow.
Right. Talk to us about geographies and talk to us about concentration. So there we have a medium-sized bank in the northeast which has faced issues, and that drag on the balance sheet continues even as we speak. Of course, stock performance has followed suit. You also have certain smaller NBFC lenders concentrated in geographies. It's a large risk. Is the Northeast currently getting better in your view? And which are those geographies which are key concerns that you're looking at?
Look, so pain had been there in certain states in north, rather northeast. The pain, basically, what we saw was there in Punjab and Haryana, where there had been a bit of a pain which was visible since last almost 3 quarters now. Apart from it, certain pockets in northeast, certain pockets in east, central and eastern India has also seen a kind of a pain. But overall, it seems to be it's now right now what we are seeing is more across all regions and all states are seeing some kind of pain which is visible out here. But obviously, certain states in north and certain states in northeast still looks to be a little bit more dicier. Even RBI has restricted NBFC MFI, I think, last couple of months ago to increase their exposure in UP and BR. So even they are sensing a kind of a pain which is getting built up in this particular state. So right now, I think there had been a trend which was far more visible earlier that particular states are getting kind of stress. But right now, I think more or less it is spread across all the states and all the areas across India.
Jignesh, every time there's an asset quality problem in a particular segment or sector within lending, you have one set of lenders which will continue to grow well and stand out, those who are able to preserve asset quality. Give us some names which you believe will be able to preserve it in this cycle.
Uh, if you ask specifically on NBFC MFI, I think according to what we see, Credex's Grameen generally had been reflecting, pretty stronger set of underwriting, and they generally what on the grounds they call it is a golden standards as far as lending is concerned. But obviously, they will also see if it is across areas, they will also see kind of some volatility. But I think compared to the rest of the guys, they could still do better. That would be a standout name according to me, which will be there. Swarna Surti is another name, but I think there I think some volatility will be visible because they have been spreading or increasing the exposure across areas more recently. So I think there could be some pain out there, but I think Credit is the one followed by Swarna Surti who should do. I mean, this both teams comes out very clearly, which can do better. But if it is, again, I'm saying, if it is a sector specific issue, the headwinds will be visible for most of the guys, including Credit and Spandana as well.
Right, and Jignesh, any possibility of this spilling over to other areas, other pockets of lending, or not really seen right now?
No, no, possible, quite possible. I think small ticket size personal loans or micro enterprise loans and all, they are already seeing some kind of pain, which is continuing. I think it's the game is also about liquidity as well. I mean, we believe that if overall liquidity starts improving within the system, and they're able to refinance it again, most of the borrowers, then I think the issue will not continue for a long period of time, and then it should start settling down. And if obviously if the economy overall picks up pretty well, I think the things should normalize in next 2 or 3 quarters. But if it doesn't happen, then definitely it will go for a long. But this MFI pain generally spills over to small enterprise loans and micro enterprise loans and all. So that will definitely will happen in the coming quarters.
Okay, thank you so much, Jignesh. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, breaking this down.